Welcome to We Are Soccer, and it's Bundesliga Chat Time, and Nate is back in the house. Nate, what up, buddy? You all right?
I'm dancing like an elf.
I noticed.
Dancing like an elf that you put on your shelf.
Let's not go down that road, man. Those damn things.
They got you.
Shelf.
Yeah, this is our first year with Help on the Shelf, and you can tell by my face I'm excited. This is my excited face.
Yeah,
this is why I liked living in Germany, because they don't put up with that bullshit.
Yeah.
They'd be like, why would you Elf on the Shelf? You have St. Nicholas. What is this bullshit? You know, and they get all logical. And then you try to explain it to them, and you'd be like, no, they report back to Santa. And they'd be like, but doesn't Santa see everything? That makes no sense. Stop being an idiot, you know?
Welcome to corporate America, where they're just making things for Christmas.
Yeah, no, they don't do that, Germany.
All right. Well, we're not talking about Elf on the Shelf because I'm sick of that crap this year.
No.
What we are going to talk about is Jess Marsch in trouble as RB Leipzig fall again. Third game in a row on a losing streak. Then we're going to talk about game of the weekend with Dortmund at home to Bayern Munich.
Not Stuttgart against top.
No, we can
That's not the game of the week.
No, maybe for you, but the rest of the world wants to see Dortmund.
There's another game on that week.
Bayern, yeah.
Who?
Two teams you've never heard of.
Never heard of.
Never heard of. What kind of Bundesliga expert are you if you've never heard of the two best teams in the league?
One that only roots for one team.
Exactly. And then we'll touch on Gio Reyna, who's back in training at Dortmund, which is great news for everybody involved. All right, man, let's jump in. Jess Marsch, RB Leipzig, they've lost 3 in a row. They lost again today, 2-1 to Berlin. What's your thoughts, man? What's going on there?
My thoughts are Marsch is deeply in trouble, which is sad because I do like Marsch. I've liked him for a while. I liked him when he was at Salzburg, even though I didn't really follow the Austrian league. Like the clips and things I saw from him all looked good. I liked his coaching style and philosophy. I liked that he came up from the States and then kind of, worked his way and moved up through the Leipzig system. That he's struggling right now, and he is. Make no bones about it. He's struggling. They haven't done good in the Champions League. They haven't done good in the regular league. They're sitting, I think, right around 8th. They're not going forward in the Champions League. Maybe they'll get a Europa slot, but you even got to ask yourself, is that even worth it for them? Since, quite frankly, this team has been repeated Champions League teams for a while now. So missing out is probably not going to be acceptable with the way that the Red Bulls are trying to market this squad and what they're trying to do. The money that they have spent, which is actually heard something that they were one of the biggest spenders in the Bundesliga the last few years running. So it's not a good sign. Now, you have the people that say, well, he needs time, and I agree. But at the same time, he was supposed to be part of the system moving in, part of the Leipzig system. He was supposed to be the guy that, okay, we lost Nagelsmann, but this is our guy because he's part of our system and he knows what we want to do. And we have a football club and manager, unlike teams like, I don't know, Manchester United, that just kind of shoot from the hip. Who we got? That guy, boo! He was supposed to be, hey, this is what we're trying to do. Here are the players. You know what to do with these players because you know how to run our system. Be it from Salzburg, even though you're successful there, you're coming now here, better players, similar system, now run it. And I don't think that the board at Leipzig would consider 8th or even anything outsiding the system and the team that they have.
Yep.
And they have the players. They have great players. Actually, some of these players I think are going to be sought after at various teams that are good. You have great international players on the squad. You don't have a bad squad. The squad finished 2nd. The squad actually was in running to win the Bundesliga last year up until the 2nd or 3rd of the last game of the year, and they kind of screwed the pooch a little bit. But up until that point, they were very close to actually winning it. So this isn't a bad squad. He didn't get a bad squad at all.
He inherited a very good squad. Now, they did lose some players in the transfer window in the summer, obviously. They lost some players there. And you
two.
2. I know.
2.
I know.
But and they gained 2. They gained one of the better strikers, like third best strikers in the Bundesliga, and they actually had a player who was all injured last year. That the attacking midfielder, Slabica, who was or Salbaza, who was injured, a Hungarian player, most of the year. So he wasn't really new, but he didn't play last year when he transferred over. So it was basically like a new player.
I agree. Now we're 14 games into this. They are RB Leipzig are now 14 games in. The rest of the divisions play 13. 14 games in. They're on 18 points. That puts them in 8th position. Now that sounds good, but there are 4 teams below them that are also on 18 points, and they all play this weekend. So if all of those teams happen to win or pick up points, they'll move up, and Leipzig will fall below down to about 13th position, or worse, depending on how other teams do. Now, I agree. Listen, there are when a new coach comes in, it takes time. He needs to be granted time. And as you and I have talked about, Jesse Marsch has come through the Red Bull system. So they are probably going to grant him a little bit more time and see how it goes. And I think getting into the new year, if it hasn't gotten any better, if they haven't gained points and positions, if the football hasn't improved, he will be out of there. I have no doubt, because you are 100% correct. The minimum is going to be Champions League. Our Red Bull, the RB, the group, whatever they are, they will not accept anything less than Champions League, because in order to attract new players, the players that they want, the quality of players that they want, they need to be in Champions League. So he's got a lot of work to do, and I hope he succeeds. I really hope he succeeds and gets this thing together, but right now it's a big failure.
And you're also talking about a league that they don't tolerate, the Germans aren't very patient with their coaches. Right, wrong, or indifferent, they're just not. So we already had one club that let loose their coach because they weren't doing well. And we had Hertha Berlin actually last weekend, who got rid of their coach as well and brought in Florian Korfans. So it's already 2 coaches by match week 14th that have already been replaced. So that's the type of stuff that goes on. I know everyone goes, "Oh, Farmer League, Munich always wins it." Yeah, I get it, but they don't tolerate, if you get close to the relegation zone, or where the organization doesn't feel you should be. With Hertha Berlin, because they're close to the relegation or in relegation zone, the organization said, "This is not where we're supposed to be. You're out." And that's my point with Leipzig. I do not think that the Red Bulls or the Leipzig organization views themselves outside the Champions League. So he has to quickly gather the troops and do what he needs to do. I think the only thing that's saving him, the only thing, is that, like you said, he's a Leipzig prodigy coming through the system. If he was outside of this, he'd be gone.
Yeah.
And there is this thing called the Nagelsmann hangover. When he left Hoffenheim 2 years ago, they struggled the first year that he was gone, massively struggled. Mm-hmm. This year they're doing much better considerably. So that is something to consider, and I do hope that he's given time, because not only because I like him, but I worry about the backlash, or I shouldn't call it a backlash, but the setback it could do for American soccer coaches trying to go. And I hate to say it, but a lot is hinging on our nation, that he does well and regains credibility, similar to I was skeptical of Pulisic going to Chelsea for the same reason, and I was skeptical of McKennie going to the same reason. When you kind of, not only are you a player, but you're also representing what we are kind of, as a country, when you make that big leap, and you're the first one to do it, right? Fortunately, I think Pulisic, he's proved that he is worth it and can hang in the Premier League. I know McKennie has proved it as well. So it's just kind of, it goes with the game. It's unfortunate. It's a lot of pressure, I think, as an American doing that, being the first one in, or being the first one to stamp the mark there. But that's kind of what it is with March,
Yeah. Well, here's my prediction, man. He's got 4 games to save his job at RB Leipzig. And here are the 4 teams that he has to play against. You know who's coming to town December 7th?
Santa.
Manchester City.
Oh, Manchester City. That's a win.
Yeah. So Man City come to town in the Champions League. And then 4 days later, he's at home to Borussia Mönchengladbach. 4 days after that, they're away to Augsburg. And then 3 days after that, they're at home again to Bielefeld. So, I mean, there's some quick games there. You've got a game, 3 days of rest, game, 3 days of rest, game, 2 days of rest, game. He's got, in my opinion, now, it just needs to be a decent showing against Man City. I don't think they need to pick up points, obviously not for the league, but
honestly,
they just need to win, just need to get a good win there. They need to pick up points in the league.
Yeah, honestly, I'd roll out like my U10 squad against City and just say, yeah, it is what it is, and then lose. And like the teams they need to win is what you just said against Bielefeld, Augsburg, and those are the teams they need to win because they need to get back into the top four. They're out of the champ. There's nothing they can do to win the Champions League, and I almost question really if you want to be in the Europa when you're a team that's struggling as it is. You almost want to just like not and do what you can. Still in the, I believe they're still, if memory serves me right, they're still in the Pokal as well. So there's something there. So you're almost better off playing in your domestic stuff right now when you're struggling than trying to go forward in anything like your Europa anyways. So.
Exactly, 100%. And lucky for him, all three of those teams that he plays in the league in December here are below RB Leipzig and all winnable games. So if he picks up wins, let's just say he picks up 3 wins, obviously I think he's safe. He picks up 2 out of 3, I think he's still safe and he'll be okay. Now then comes the break until January 8th for them, with the winter break, obviously. For the Bundesliga.
And that's where you're right. If he lays an egg these 3 upcoming games, they will replace him during winter break because that's the time to do it. The teams, even though that the football kind of stops, the teams are still training and they usually set up friendlies in warmer climates. So that's when new coaches are brought in because they have time to walk in and actually get settled. It happens a lot. So he needs to win those 3 games. I think Bielefeld, Augsburg are easy wins. I think Gladbach could be a bit of a trap because of what they can do on any given occasion. So that would be the most dangerous game out of it. Augsburg should be a walkthrough. Bielefeld should be a close one because they can grind it out, but they should win. Yep. And they should be Gladbach too. I mean, this squad is a good squad. So, this squad is easily a top 4 squad and should have been a top 4 squad this whole year. So there's no reason why they can't compete against any of these guys.
Absolutely, 100% agree. All right, game of the weekend, as we talked about for most of the world, maybe not for you.
Stuttgart, got it. What?
No, not at all. Oh. That will prove to be a good game, which is Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Plus. But Borussia Dortmund at home to Bayern Munich, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ESPN Plus on Saturday. Today, essentially. What a game. This is going to be a great game. Number 1, number 2 versus number 2. Bayern Munich. They've had some issues recently, as you and I have talked about. I think they are. I think the runner-up to the Ballon d'Or is going to come out, and he is going to be pissed off, and he is going to try to prove to the world that he should have been the number 1. When he should have been the guy holding the Ballon d'Or trophy. Robert Lewandoski.
I mean, Haaland's good, but he's a little young to earn the Ballon d'Or.
Not even close.
Oh, okay.
Not even close.
Just trying to fish for you there.
Yeah, but I think he's going to come out and want to prove a point. I think Bayern are going to come out and prove a point. They're going to want to put Borussia Dortmund in their place. So this is going to be a good game. Dortmund's at home. Obviously Bayern have dropped points a few times this year, so they're susceptible to doing that. This is going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to sitting on the couch watching this one, man.
So Munchen's problems are coming from internal. For those who don't know, there's a bit of a COVID controversy, or I could say vaccination controversy. So politics aside, regardless of that, factually speaking, there's a few of the starters who have refused to get the vaccine, and it's come out. And actually, one of them, Kimmich, has got in trouble for it. So it's caused a bit of a rift, apparently, according to what sources say on the inside, for some of these guys and what they're doing. Then there's also their Qatarian sponsorship that's actually caused a bit of a controversy as well with the way that's being handled and what's going on there. So there's a lot of weird drama going on in the background, which people are saying are causing results or causing them to be slow because they have been slow in the league. The Champions League, they're rocking it, but actually the league, they're kind of slugging it out and slugging through. Dortmund, on the other hand, is pretty red hot. I mean, they are 1 point, they're separated by 1 point, and Dortmund actually outside of the Champions League, where actually they've struggled there, but domestically they've done incredible. And so it's going to be interesting because Dortmund has the attacking squad, especially if they have Reina back now. If he has anything to do with it, that is a huge boost for him. He was a starter every single game before he got injured on international duty. Bellingham has been great. Haaland is healthy, has started playing again. He's obviously good. They had another forward come forward and started kind of making waves. He's been good. So they have good guys on the squad, and that's not even talking about, Ruiz or Julian Brandt or some of these other guys that are kind of waiting in the wings that come in as bit players here and there.
The problem is, go ahead. You're probably going to say what I was going to say. Go ahead. I'll let you do it.
The biggest problem that Dortmund had is this whole season is really their defense.
Yep.
Stemming from the back four or back 3 years of what they really play with. And they've been relying on Hummels for this, forever, until he left and then came back. But ever since he's come back, they've been relying on Mats Hummels, and he's just been poor this year. He's just been, frankly, he was injured for the beginning half of the games, and then even when he came in, he's been rather poor and has been struggling. Their goalkeeper, who is a Stuttgart man, Korbel, he's actually been really good. He's been solid as far as the goalkeeper. He's been pulling out amazing saves and keeping him in games. It's really the holes of these back three defensive players that they have playing that has become a big problem. And honestly, if I was Dortmund, I'm going to the transfer window in January and I'm looking to find center backs because it's an issue, to the point where they've actually used some of their defensive midfielders like Wetzel as a center back because they're just struggling back there. So that is where Dortmund's weakness is going to be. I think actually the same could be said actually with Munich, because one thing has been proven, and Gladbach proved it, is when they press the crap out of Munich, they struggle, and that's what they did. And you throw a big physical player up against Upmakendo, and the guy doesn't know what to do with them. And that's what they did with Ebola. That's what actually Dortmund did against Upmakendo when he played for RB Leipzig. They took Haaland and put him against him, and Upmakendo had him a couple times, but Haaland made him look really silly a few times in the Pokal final. So that's what I would do. I'd take basically Haaland and have him basically abuse Upmakendo all day, and have Bellingham and running all over, and to see how that works.
I got a feeling Reina won't be starting. He'll come in probably for the last 10, 15 minutes if possible. He has been injured for the last several weeks. Made his way back onto the training pitch this week. His teammates, videos come out that his teammates were clapping for him at training because he's finally back and healthy, which is a great sign. It means his teammates love him and he loves being there, it looks like. So that's a great sign. It would be great to see Gio Reyna get back on the field, get healthy, get back to doing what he's doing. Because like you said, Nate, he was a starter in every game before he got injured. They couldn't keep him out of the team, man. And he was the first name on the sheet besides Haaland. And that's what we want from our U.S. men's national team players, right? Playing at a high level. It's only going to help the U.S. men's team. Starter
wearing the number 7 and scoring goals.
Yeah. Beautiful. That's
and that's basically what it was. So I'm not surprised that he got an ovation, and I'm not surprised his teammates are happy to have him back. I think he fits very well Flair and Appeased. He was basically Jadon Sancho's replacement, and that's why they felt confident selling Jadon Sancho and sliding Reina right into that spot because, quite frankly, they play similar, and they both play that same position, and I think that was a bit of magic that they were missing on the field. Now with him and Bellingham and with Ruiz and Haaland, those are your 4 starting attackers going forward. Now I get it. Yeah, you probably won't start, but you'll have Julian Brent there for a while, and then you'll sub them out and have them go in, which will be great. This should be an interesting match. I do hope Dortmund wins. I do hope Munich doesn't win just for aesthetics. And Nate's perfect dream world where he wakes up and Stuttgart is in the Champions League spot somehow at number 4. And same with Aston Villa, by the way. Villa's there. Villa and Stuttgart will see each other in the Champions League, but Dortmund wins the league. Munich wins the Champions League, and then I don't know, Freiburg wins the Europa, or no, Freiburg wins the Pokal, and and then Leverkusen wins the Europa, and so
that's your utopia right there.
That's my utopia right there. That's what I'm hoping everything rolls out to be.
Speaking of Stuttgart, let's talk about their game. We'll talk about one other game here: Stuttgart versus Hertha Berlin. Hertha Berlin sit 14th. Stuttgart sit 15th. They have performed well below where they should be performing, and the results show it. 15th position. I know they've had injuries. I know they've had COVID issues, but they got to start to pick it up here, or there's going to be issues there.
Yeah, they've had their whole starting squad basically injured at one point. So what's good is Cialis is coming back. He played last week, and he should be starting this game coming in. So Cialis Matuga, which actually goes by a different name now. I won't pretend to try to pronounce it. That was his name last year that I got used to. And Marmouche, the Egyptian forward that is back from injury as well. Those 2 players alone changes everything. So you have your starting attacking players and some of your attacking player back. The X factor is as I just said, Hertha fired their coach. And they brought forth a guy who used to coach Stuttgart, former Stuttgart guy, Florian Kofod. And, yeah, he's not that good. So, anyways, he got fired from Stuttgart, so he can't be that great, right? But, no, it should be interesting is they did bring this guy in within a week, and we'll see how that goes. Usually that's a bit of a struggle bus, So with Hertha, a team that's been struggling, you just get a new coach, not a lot of turnaround time to start doing things. The players back, I'm hoping for a bit of a victory here.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they pick up 3 points and can move up the table, man, because they drastically need it.
Yeah. They'll overlap Leipzig by the week's over.
Yeah, but they need 2 games to do that.
That's okay. That's okay because he's not as American as Jess Marsch, but he's close.
Just sort of American, a little bit.
He's
close.
He went to an American college and he was born and raised in the States. He just kind of went overseas and never came back at 17. So, or 18 or 19 or whatever. Yeah. So
American. Let's go with American.
American.
Absolutely.
He's got a U.S. passport.
Yeah, I don't know what that's worth these days, to be honest, but he's got one, so he's an American.
You got to stand in the U.S. passport line.
This is true. Maybe one day he can be standing next to you.
Whoa, boy, would that be a fall for him? Wow, did he get into hard drugs or something, or he's brought down to my level?
All right, man, that'll wrap us up for another Bundesliga Chat Time from We Are Soccer. Nate, thanks for joining, buddy. Appreciate it. We'll chat again next week.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Prost.